One of the biggest challenges that my clients struggled with at the start was that they just didn't feel motivated. What I have since learned is that almost all direct sellers try to motivate themselves with money. When I do this, I'll make $200 a month. But there's a huge problem with this. 85% of direct sellers are not motivated by money. If motivation has been a struggle for you, then you'll want to attend Money Doesn't Motivate Me webinar. It's happening Wednesday, November 17th of 2021 at 7 p.m. Central. It's totally free and will cover how I learned of this motivation mismatch, why using the wrong motivator doesn't work, and how to find your primary and secondary motivators. Just go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com/motivation to reserve your spot in the webinar. And yes, it will be recorded, but only those who are registered will get the recording link. Again, the link is badassdirectsalesmastery.com/motivation.
Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger, your direct sales dom, helping you whip your business into shape. First things first, I am super excited because this is officially the 100th episode of the podcast. We've had a few bonus episodes throughout time. So technically we had 100 episodes a few weeks ago, but this is the official 100th planned episode of the podcast. And I'm really excited because it's taken 2 years to get here. And here are some of the awesome things that the podcast has accomplished in that time. Now, it took from our launch in June of 2019 to January of 2021 to reach 10,000 downloads. But then it took just from January of 2021 to October 8th of 2021 to hit 20,000 downloads. So we doubled our downloads in just right around 9 months. And it's all thanks to you. It's thanks to you, the listener. Thanks to you, my badass crew. You're sharing the podcast out with others, and it's just taking off. Another really neat little factoid about this podcast, about the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast, it is now being listened to in the United States, Canada, Portugal, Germany, New Zealand, India, Taiwan, Spain, Australia, Great Britain, Ireland, the Philippines, and Mongolia. So we are hitting some really great countries. I'm super excited to see all of these countries on the list. And what has been super cool is the podcast has even reached top 20 ratings. So within the top 20 of all business podcasts in Mongolia and Portugal recently, we have now, because of the podcast, sponsored 2 virtual summits, and the third one is coming up in March of 2022. We have also had 2 awesome sponsors who have come in. We had Vidyard and Contact Mapping. And honestly, though, I only share all of this because I want you to know what you're a part of. If it wasn't for you, my listeners, my badass crew, this podcast would not be where it is today. And for that, I am extremely grateful. I make this podcast for you, for your benefit. And if you weren't getting benefit, you wouldn't be sharing it with the people you know in direct sales, network marketing, and multi-level marketing. And I am so incredibly grateful that you are here listening right now. You absolutely I may not know your name, but you mean the world to me as a listener of this podcast. And I thank you for that. Now, the title of today's show is Money Doesn't Motivate. Recently, I went through an intense training program called You Don't Know DISC with Alex Onderud. And in this program, I was trained to not only read DISC personality profiles, but I also learned how to read the Associated Values Assessment and Attributes Index. And I've now run this assessment for many network marketers, direct sales consultants, and MLM professionals. And I have found a very interesting trend in our profession, ladies and gentlemen. Money doesn't motivate us. Wait, what? That's right. For 85 to 90% of direct sellers, network marketers, and MLM pros, money is the least of their values. And there are 7 of them. Whoa. My jaw literally dropped. I mean, the realization completely floored me. And I'm willing to bet that you are shocked and confused as well. But here's the thing, though. If money truly motivated you, you'd be making all the money you wanted to. It's just that simple. So when you look at the successful people in your company, they figured out their primary motivator. It might be money. It might be one of the other 6 subconscious values. And it honestly doesn't matter what their primary motivator is. What does matter is that they figured it out. So now I know you're wondering, Jennie, how do I find out what does motivate me? And I am so happy you asked, because you have 3 choices. You can do nothing, just quit. It's not the best option, but it's an option nevertheless. You don't have to figure out what your motivator is. You can just do nothing about it. You can keep doing what you're doing. If you've been experiencing regular and consistent growth of sales, team, and income, then this may be a good option for you. If you are not experiencing regular and consistent growth in sales, team, and income, then this option will lead to frustration and pain. Your third option is to get help. So I'm really excited to announce that on Wednesday, November 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be sharing a 45-minute complimentary webinar all about motivations that actually get us off our ass and start getting forward motion in our business. To claim your spot in this webinar, just go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com/motivation. Even if you can't attend live, it will be recorded and the replay will be sent to those who register. So if you can't attend live, make sure you go register at badassdirectsalesmastery.com/motivation. After you register, you'll receive a confirmation email and then the email with the Zoom webinar link. I know that the lack of motivation is one of the biggest obstacles that my clients struggled with until we found their true motivator. Now that my clients are able to focus on what does motivate them, they are feeling more satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, and greater confidence in their business and personal life. I hope that you find hope in this episode. Your struggle with motivation is fixable. We just need to know what does motivate you if money doesn't. This webinar will help you uncover the wrong motivators for you so you can stop using them. And I will share with you the one proven way to explore your unique motivator. Money doesn't motivate. And really, even those who are motivated by money aren't truly motivated by money. They are motivated by what money can do for them. The reduction of stress, the improved quality of life through experiences, the opportunities that become available with money. That is what motivates. I cannot wait to see you on the Money Doesn't Motivate webinar. So make sure you go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com/motivation to reserve your spot now.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.